welcome back from that break. This is still the AM Club coming to you live from the Mix 24 studios, Oleander Street, East Legon, Accra, and my name is Miriam Udua Commenter, about to have a great conversation. Like I always say, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. I don't particularly not like Thursday. I love Thursdays. I love it, especially when we are going to have conversations that are, pertaining to our health. And I mean, that's actually on the lighter side. But these conversations are very important for all of us. So let's stay right here as we delve into it. But before we do that, your money deserves the safest home. With Telecel Cash, you're protected every step of the way. No risk, no worries, no long stories, just peace of mind. Dial *110# or download the Telecel Play app now for safe, secure transaction. Telecel Cash, the safer choice. Now, are you ready to brand, to put that brand out there for a curated pop-up market experience? Well, East Garden Exchange 2.0 is happening May 29th and 30th at the East Garden Event Center in East Legon, and we want you there. We need you to be there, okay? This is your chance to connect with shoppers and grow your brand and be part of a distinct intentional marketplace. Now, spaces are limited, so call us now on 0243-821293 or 0242-953-775. To secure your spot, follow the vibe at East Garden _exchange. That is East Garden _exchange. East Garden Exchange 2.0. Created, distinct, intentional. Looking for perfectly stronger, healthier, and beautifully straight hair without irritation on your salon, relax, or retouch days? Well, then try the new BO16 no-line hair relaxer and thank me later. Now, this BO16 specially curated 3-in-1 formula straightens, strengthens, and protects your hair, leaving it with long-lasting smoothness and a radiant shine. It's gentle on the scalp and enriched with shea butter, coconut oil, and olive oil to nourish your hair. Now, in just 3 simple steps, you experience the silky, smooth hair you've always dreamed of every day. Choose BO16 No-Lie Hair Relaxer for a gentle yet powerful transformation that lasts. And now, this is absolutely wow, okay? So available now at stores and supermarkets near you. New BO16 No-Lie Hair Relaxer. Express yourself, the GC brand. It's all about you. Now, our conversation this morning is about maternal health care. Today, it's International Day to End Obstetric Fistula. The nurse is here to help us do that, okay, or the doctor is here to help us do that. I am not coming to explain to you what that means. Yes, I didn't take the pain to do that. So, joining us for the conversation this morning is midwife founder, Talk to Your Midwife Global, Sarah and Cancer Boate. Good morning.
Good morning.
When last did I see you?
I think last year.
No, I didn't see you last year.
Oh,
the
really?
Whole of last year, I didn't see you.
Really?
I can remember everything I did last year and the people I met. We had a conversation online, I believe. On Zoom, I believe. Yes. But in person,
depression.
We didn't meet. I didn't enter your area last year. Yeah, last year I wasn't incorporated at all. But anyway, it's good to see you again.
Yes,
it's really,
always
really good
a pleasure to be here.
Always exciting. And great job what you're doing. We see you.
So much.
We see you.
Thank you.
You're doing such a great job. If
you.
only I knew that being a nurse or midwife could be this exciting, I would have gone that route. Because I told you I wanted to be a nurse before. And then I found out that it's cooler to be a doctor. And I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. And here I am. Talking. Anywho, now let's get into the conversation for today. Let's start off with the big conversation. What is obstetric fistula? Explain what that is for us.
Right, sure. Thank you so much. So, obstetric fistula is a public health concern, right? And I would like to break it down for our viewers.
Yes.
So let's take fistula. When we talk about fistula is an abnormal passage or connection between 2 organs in your system, right? And fistula, it has to do with childbirth. Okay. So combining both, it's an abnormal passage or an abnormal connection or hole between 2 organs, which comes about because of delayed or prolonged labor. Okay. So the connection can be between your bladder and your vagina, or your rectum, and your vagina, or both. So someone with obstetric fistula will usually experience leakage, urine incontinence, or fecal incontinence, because there is this abnormal connection between them. All these organs are in your pelvic region, right? So your pelvic region, all these organs are there, but then they are not connected together. They are being separated by a muscle.
Yeah.
But when there is prolonged labor, that's when the head of the baby is coming down, right? And the labor is obstructed. It means that there's something hindering the baby to come down as it should. So the more it stays there, the head of the baby is hard. So it presses on these muscles, and there's delayed blood flow to those places. Any place in your body when there's a delayed blood flow, the place becomes numb. It becomes numb. So after a long time, then the spaces just fuse together. So now you can't even tell whether you want to wee. You can't tell if you want to pass fecal matter. So yeah.
Oh, this is happening to women.
Yes.
Now,
And it's all because of childbirth.
right. Well, okay, so let me just come back to professional point. Why is maternal health care so important for pregnant women and newborns? Why is this such an important conversation?
Right.
I can see where the line can be drawn, and I can see where it's necessary to have these conversations, but we have very stubborn people.
Very
stubborn
stubborn
people. And so
people.
let's tell them why it's important for every individual, woman, man, everybody to understand maternal health care.
Right. So with what
Especially
I just
pregnant
explained,
women.
just with what I just explained,
Yes.
with proper antenatal visits, we'll be able to identify whether this pregnancy is going to be. Sometimes you might not know whether the pregnancy is going to be obstructed, but you are able to identify high-risk cases as early as possible.
Yes.
Because when you go for antenatal care, it's not just about going in to see a doctor or a midwife. We are going to give you proper education on nutrition, the kind of foods you're supposed to eat. You're going to take your scans, you're going to take your pre-meds, you're going to do lab investigation, so that you're able to rule out all these future occurrences as early as possible. So it's so important that when you are pregnant, the last time I was here, I mentioned that immediately you would see that you are pregnant, you take a scan to know whether it's an ectopic pregnancy or it's a normal pregnancy. Then you continue with your antenatal visits every time when you have to.
You need to. Now, what are some of the common complications women face during labor and delivery? We've talked about the
Obstetric fistula.
Obstetric fistula.
Yes.
Let's talk about other ones that we probably are not paying attention to.
There can be placenta previa, there can be abruptio, and all these things are the placenta, right? So either the placenta is low-lying. In the normal pregnancy, the placenta is supposed to be attached at the top, right?
With the baby?
So it connects the mother and the baby.
Yes.
Yes. But this time, the placenta is low-lying by the vagina, right? So it's like it's obstructing the passage of the baby.
Of the baby.
Right.
So you could be in labor, but the placenta is coming before the baby. Whereas the baby is supposed to come and then the placenta follows.
Right. So abnormal detachment of the placenta before its time.
Yes.
Right. There can be eclampsia or preeclampsia, which is really high BP, really high BP in pregnancy. Sometimes diabetes in pregnancy is normal. Hypertension in pregnancy is normal. Some people see a reverse in it after pregnancy. Some people do not see any reverse and it continues. For some people, when it's not managed during pregnancy, it escalates and they fit. That's eclampsia.
Yes.
You fit, which is very serious. There can be blurred vision. There can be serious headaches. There can be abdominal pains and all that. So you see, pregnancy that we see.
Sarah, When you know pregnancy,
Ni nyinaa yɛ pregnancy.
on yari or shenye no.
Hwee no.
Wakonyim.
Just because she wants to bring another life into the world.
This thing, and I'm not being like this because, you know, I probably haven't heard it before. I think somewhere last week we saw a video of a young girl who has gone blind
Yes.
because of pregnancy.
Yes.
She's gone completely blind.
You
She
can
cannot
lose
see
your
it.
teeth, everything.
Oh, talk about the teeth.
You can lose your hair.
No, because I'm going to tell you what happened to me. And again, this is all pregnancy. So the day my water broke, I threw up. Like for like another 3 minutes, I was throwing up. And my mother was so sad. My mother cried like, yeah, after the catching saying, honestly, she was crying. And I was like, you people said my water just broke. And you people are saying that, like, and we ate not too long before my water broke. So, like, I was really throwing up, like, back to back. Now, they have to take me to the hospital, but now I'm throwing up. And so they don't want to put me in the car. And so I'm throwing up, and the contraction is also going on. She was crying, only to come and tell me in the hospital when I had my child that she thinks the water broke through my mouth. She thinks, like, you know, so obviously she didn't say, or can you treat? So I let me just put it that way. She was like, throwing up when your water breaks is not a good sign. It affects your dentition. So it doesn't help. It apparently happened to my grandmother.
Oh.
My grandmother's dentition had to be worked on later in life to be able to see her have like full teeth. So just like my grandmother, I also have, well, I had an accident. I have some, what do you call it? Fake teeth. Yeah, but she said all of those things are a contributing factor. So that one I've heard before, losing your teeth because of pregnancy. I've heard that before. But run us through some of the things that could happen.
Right, so you can that is not common, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to scare you.
Yes.
But that's not really common.
That's right.
You can lose your hair. That's also not common.
Very common.
Yes, but the most common ones are diabetes in pregnancy,
yes,
hypertension in pregnancy,
yes,
hyperemesis gravidarum, that you vomit excessively.
Yeah.
It's normal to vomit, but sometimes people vomit excessively, which needs medical attention.
Yeah.
You can bleed during pregnancy. That's different from spotting. You know, the first week of pregnancy, the first trimester, some people spot and even think they're menstruating.
Yes.
That is quite normal.
Yeah.
But after that, when you are bleeding too much with clots of blood, it needs medical attention. When you have edema, that is puffy face, puffy feet and hands, you need to see the doctor. That can be a sign of preeclampsia. And also when you are when you have serious abdominal pains, blurred vision, you are feeling dizzy, you are fatigued, most often you need to see the doctor. It can be a sign, like it's communicating something to you. You know, our body always communicates to us. We just need to pay attention to it.
What about those who lose their limbs when, right? You've seen that before. That I have also seen before.
Some people get paralyzed.
Yes, paralyzed.
After, for that, it's rare, but it
happens.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, and there are so many things that come in play to contribute to that. It's not just about the child.
Pregnancy.
Yeah, the pregnancy.
Right. Well, so you said something earlier that, well, some of these things you cannot tell that, you know, they would happen to your pregnancy. But do you ever see signs that this pregnancy could be difficult, or this will be like a very tough pregnancy?
Yes. Sometimes we are able to tell. So through antenatal, there's something we do called the symphysiofundal height, that we use a tape measure to measure the size of your uterus. And if the size of your uterus or your abdomen is equal to maybe your gestational weeks, we know the baby is growing in proportion to the weeks in which you are. But some people are very small to date. The abdomen, the size of it is too small, some are some are too big.
Yeah.
So with that, you start to think around what can be the problem. Is it that there's too much amniotic fluid around the baby, or there's too little amniotic fluid around it? How well is the baby growing? If the baby is big, that's usually with the diabetic women. If the baby is big, then you start planning for a cesarean session for you. Now we can take a scan and the baby is transverse. That is, the baby is lying this way instead of this way. So the baby has decided to come this way. So it means the baby is coming with a shoulder, which is not okay. We can't deliver a baby like that. So the scans will help us know how to prepare for your delivery. So that's why it's important to go for antenatal.
Yes. It's so important.
We're able to see all these things. Yeah. Some of the babies will decide to come like this. With them.
It's chilling.
Right. Some will decide to come like this. Some will come with their foot. Some will come with their buttocks. Even some will come with their head, but it's their face that is coming. The normal baby is supposed to come with the occiput, netiko. But some people will come with their head, but it will be the face. So it's face presentation. How can you deliver a baby with like this? You would tear up. So when we see all these things, we start planning for your delivery.
Now I found a reason to be discouraged to get pregnant.
Oh no, please.
Because me, I want babies. I want like 3 more.
And you will get all of them.
Amen. Easily. Because is it true, on the lighter side, is it true that the way your first pregnancy is, it's very possible that all your babies, you will deliver all your babies like that?
That's not true.
That's not true.
Every pregnancy is different. Every pregnancy is unique.
My dad.
You can have a vaginal birth with the first one. Maybe the second one, something might go wrong during the process, and you have to go for a cesarean session. Some people would not feel anything during the first pregnancy, but the second one, in and out of hospitals. I don't know if you've heard of No Baby, No Home. Some people would literally have to spend their entire 9 months in the hospital because of cervical incompetence. They are scared that once they go home, do heavy lifting and all that, their product of conception might come out.
They stay in the hospital? Yes. On hospital bed as patients for 9 months?
No baby, no home. Or for some people, there's something called cerclage that they tie the cervix, the suture, to keep it together. You know, when your water breaks, you see that there's something called show. It's like mucus and mixed with a little blood. Yeah. So it's a plug that closes the cervix. God's own wisdom, it's closing the cervix so that infections and other things will not be able to pass through to the baby. So when your water breaks, that's the first indication that labor has set in, right? For some people, because of maybe how their cervix were formed or infections or other things, their cervix, that is the door, is ajar. It's not as tight as any other person. And so because we need to keep the pregnancy, we tie that place. So when it's time to deliver, we untie so that you can deliver your baby.
You people go and give birth, okay? Don't mind us here.
Don't worry, it's
us.
normal.
Your pregnancy will not be like that. What challenges do midwives and healthcare workers face in providing maternal care?
A lot. And all these things that we are talking about, sometimes the woman will do everything, will come for antenatal, will take medication and everything, but the system will fail her. The system being inadequate logistics to help the midwife to be able to provide the adequate care that she has to. We are always improvising so many times. There are so many facilities in the deprived areas that till date uses torchlight for suturing. People uses torchlights for delivery because there is no electricity, or sometimes they are in the process of doing it and the light goes off. No backup plan, right? And all these things, you have to stand your ground and make sure the mother is safe. Not thinking about the system, but making sure that you deliver you discharge your duty as good as possible. So inadequate logistics for us to work is one of the things. Poor remuneration.
And this is you.
You see how I gave a deep breath?
Yeah, because if
We
you,
work
if you
so
are not
hard.
taking care of, how would you take care of other people?
We work so hard, but the take home is nothing to write home about, right? And so we are fighting. We are pleading that the work we do will match up to the money that we take home to help us. You know, last 2 years, I was diagnosed with spondylosis, right? Spondylosis is my spine.
Your spine, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
And it was because of the beds. The delivery beds are low, so you have to be in this position for a long time. And if unfortunately the mother has a tear, you have to be in that position to suture. And so for the whole 1 year, I was going for chiropractic session. And a session 2 times was like 1,000 cedis. How much do I earn to use that money? And so that comes to talk of insurance. Nurses, we do not have insurance.
How? So you have to get like private insurance.
Yes, you have to be on NHIS or private insurance. Your facility might be lenient enough to say that, okay, we'll take part of it and you take the rest. But I think that we are the forefront of health service, and we need some of these benefits like the health insurance services to help us.
No, you do. You certainly do. Phew. Now, so back to the patient. What supports are available for women living with obstetric fistula?
So initially, people thought that obstetric fistula wasn't curable, but the good news is we have fistula repair homes that do these things. And this month is international. In fact, we are using the whole month for that. So International Month to End Obstetric Fistula. So let me put this disclaimer. I'm not speaking on behalf of UNFPA, but UNFPA champions obstetric fistula, and they're going to have some repairs in Kumasi, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, and Mankesim. Yes. And so you can take this number if you know anyone who has obstetric fistula. So in Kumasi, you can call 0240 416 970. In Cape Coast, you can call 020 457430. Mankesim, you can call 050 129 0044. Northern Region, you can call 0277 013270. And WA, you can call 0243 077 368. Ho, you can call 0244 940 594, and the surgery is free.
Okay.
It's free. Okay. They're not taking anything. So if you know anyone who has obstetric fistula, please do well to connect the person to either Kumasi, Cape Coast, Mankesim, Northern Region, WA, or Ho. And you see that the sad thing is you might not be able to see these individuals because they have low self-esteem. They are usually by themselves. They don't want to come into the community because of how smelly they are. Because if you are urinating on yourself, or without any notice, the fecal matter, everything is coming out. See how you stink. So these people...
And this is all as a result of giving birth to you people. Right. Let's take care of ourselves. Being a mother is beautiful. But if you don't take care of yourself to receive that child into this world, you might become a liability, and to yourself and to everybody you care about. So please, and I always say it here, that if you really, really love the people you say you love, you will take care of yourself. Yes. You will really take care of yourself, so that you are here to show them that love that you claim you have for them. But if you're not taking care of you, and then you want to take... Me and mothers this year, we have something to deal with. Because I'm telling you that these children are watching you, and sometimes they will hate going into this place of motherhood because of the kind of mother you were.
And they would say that they gave up everything because of you.
But they now detest who you are because of who you became because you wanted to. So take care of you. Take care of you first before you can actually, take care of all these people that you love. Before we leave, Sarah, what advice would you give to expectant mothers to ensure a safe and healthy pregnancy journey?
The topmost priority is to prioritize antenatal service. It's so important that you go for antenatal service. Support, we encourage that the partners support the women. Because you're the ones that put us in that position.
You put baby here, you're going to sleep.
You're going to sleep. So we encourage that the partners also play a big role in the pregnancy journey. Take care of yourself. Your personal hygiene is important. The food that you eat is important. You should know that now you are not eating for yourself. You're eating for you and your baby to be good and in good health. And yeah, just take care of yourself.
Take care of you. Just take care of you. Sarah is telling us this morning, take care of you. And I said this earlier. Let me just reiterate what Sarah said. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I'm tired. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. You and I, we used to do it for everybody. Now let's do it for us. Okay, so you and I are in this together. Now me, I'm taking care of myself. Small, you see the glow, it will come. So
you're already seeing it.
My son knows. My son knows now. It's like, it's mommy's resting time. He knows now. He knows. He knows once he sees. So when we're home together, right? And my door is closed. It's closed. The only time he knows that he can just walk into my room is when my door is open. Now he's also doing it to me.
Right.
I told him that I'm with the parents for you. You can't come and close door in my house. But once the door is open, you can walk in. You see my door locked. Nobody's coming in. I'm not going to put a sign there that unless it's an emergency, leave me alone. This is mommy time.
It's so important.
This is my me time. These children need to learn that you are taking care of yourself for them, not against them.
Right.
And as a mother, as an expectant mother, the doctors have talked, they have complained, they have advised. Now, me, I'm telling you that whatever you do now could affect you on that bed. And it's just devastating. Sometimes you see women go into the labor ward whole and come out half. Come out as though, they become, again, I'll use this word, they become a liability to their people. And you don't want that. Let us see it early. If the pregnancy is, I was watching, I'm watching a series now. It's called Nemesis. And the sister made a decision for the main character. Is he a main character? He's not the main character like that. He's a bad guy. He's a villain. The villain's wife went into labor, and it turns out that it was a very complicated one, but she was in coma, so she didn't see what was going on. The sister made a decision for the pregnancy to be terminated because it was either the mother or the baby. So the sister made the decision for her without the husband's, authorization. And she got upset. The coma girl woke up and was upset with her sister that you killed my child. It was like, I was supposed to choose between you and your child. Was I supposed to call you from coma. Which you are not coming back from, to make this decision? It's about you. Sometimes to be able to be there, I'm going to reiterate this again, to be there for the people that you care about, you need to take care of yourself. You need to be fine. You need to be okay to take care of the people you care about. Huh? How many times do you want me to say, hold your ear? Hold your ear. Oh. Pregnancy is not a joke. That's why anytime, like I was having a fight with my friend, right? And then she went to get pregnant. Now I have to forgive her.
Because she's already going through it.
She's already going out. I was like, oh my God. What told you to make her pregnant? Now I have to forgive you. I have to forgive her because that process is not an easy thing. From your hormones playing around with you, to your body changing, to you understanding what it is that you're doing, to the face of becoming a mother. It's not an easy thing. So I have to now forgive her.
Depression and everything.
It's paining me, but okay. But yeah, it's important for us to take care of ourselves. Sarah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
People want to connect with you, with your speak to. Is it
Talk to Your Midwife?
Talk to Your Midwife Global.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Right. So Talk to Your Midwife is a maternal health initiative for market women in underserved communities. So I realized that when I was working in the labor ward, I saw that the mothers that were coming in with complications were mothers from the marketplace. You look through their book and they've not attended any antenatal. Some have started but didn't complete it. And with further conversations with them, they mentioned that they were faced with time and financial barriers. So for them, leaving their work means they are going to lose vital income. And they need this income to be able to pay for the services. So I decided to establish a clinic in the marketplace. So we currently have a clinic in Koforidua Market, Agata Market, where we provide antenatal for the mothers.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
Done.
Thank you so much. So we provide antenatal service for the market, so you don't have an excuse not to receive care.
Yeah.
So every Mondays and Thursdays, which is the market day for Agata Market, we go in there and provide the service for them. Periodically, we have an outreach, and we also provide them with free emergency kits. You know, some of the mothers come in and they don't have anything to support them during their labor and delivery. No baby clothes, no diapers, nothing. So we provide them with these emergency kits as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. How do we connect with you? Someone is watching today. They are impressed with what you're doing. They want to come and support. How do they connect with you?
All right. So you can find me on social media. My personal handle is The Global Midwife, or just enter Sarah in Cancer Boating. You would find me on LinkedIn, Sarah in Cancer Boating, or Talk to Your Midwife. On TikTok, it's Talk to Your Midwife. And can I put my number out
Yeah,
there?
of course, of course. If you're comfortable with that, why not?
No problem. Please, for business.
So business only. Business only.
So 055 059 1055. 055 059 1055.
Guys, call in, support what she's doing. I personally am asking. She's not asking. I'm asking. Because I don't know the support she has now, but I think that it's something we can actually support to make it, to take it out of Koforidua alone, take it everywhere, to all the markets. If all the markets have talked to your midwife, I think we should be...
So this year, our plan is to get a van.
Yes.
A fully equipped van, so that we can go to the different markets. Places. And we are not taking any money.
Yes.
As long as you have a national health insurance, you should be able to access it.
Yeah.
And we liaise with the hospitals. So if we identify a high-risk case, we refer you to the hospital to continue with care. So you don't need any funds to...
You don't need any funds to come. Just so let's support, so we make this van a dream come true, so that other women can be taken care of, especially the women in the market. Thank you, Sarah, for coming.
Thank you so much, Mimi.
It's always a pleasure to do this with you. She's also my church member. We are church members together. she's a woman of God. She's a woman of God, okay? She's a woman of God, okay? And she sings.
Right.
Sarah, what don't you do? You don't sell drugs. Certainly don't sell, not paracetamol, but you don't sell the drugs. That's when you don't do it. Well, thank you so much for coming. Now to you out there, thank you so much for staying with us. I hope you've learned a thing or two about pregnancies, and you're going to take care of this, especially my girldom. And if you're a man and you're married, or you have a girlfriend and you're trying to impregnate them, then you know what you're going to be dealing with. So you're ready, because like Doc said, we need the men to be in the picture too, to support, whether emotionally, because you can't carry the baby with them, but at least be there, be present to help with their journey. And so make sure. My producer says he's going to be there. You're going to be there with your wife, and why, dear? I know you will. You will. Anyway, let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, the show continues. We have more coming up, TGMA, and more coming up here on the show. We'll be right back after this.